You're listening to the podcast that changed the game and rocked an entire profession. Talking about shit in law enforcement that keeps poor leaders up at night. When others run scared and hide behind fake policies, the Roll Call Room podcast tells it like it is. No bullshit. No matter how hard these Steves try, we keep killing it. And now, here are your hosts, Nick and Mark.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of the Roll Call Room podcast. I am one of your hosts, Nick. With me is the guy that owns 14 daycare centers in Minneapolis.
Columbus, Ohio. Thank you.
Minneapolis, Minnesota. Somalian Mark the Cop.
Hello. I would say good morning, but people don't know how early we're doing this. Yeah, that's right. Hello and welcome, and thanks for listening. We're super excited today. We have a guest.
Yes, we have a guest. A lot of backstory with this guest, and maybe we'll get into it quickly for like 5 minutes because we're starting a new new kind of way that we're going to do our videos. So hopefully you like them. Make sure you like and subscribe. But with us, with the Motor Cop Chronicles is Iceman. What's up, man? Good to have you on.
Good morning.
It's only been 5 years. We've been trying to get together. Iceman has been a long-time listener of the RCR during the original days. I like to call them the M1 days, Mike 1 days. That's how far back you go.
COVID 1 days. That's what
COVID.
Say,
yeah. COVID. So you were a long-time listener back then. And then tell us how that evolved from a listener to what you're doing now.
Started listening. Like I said, I listen to every episode. As you know, we talked earlier.
Sorry.
I was asking you stuff from the beginning. My wife heard me listen, and I was talking to her about it and stuff. And she's like, well, you got stories and all that stuff. Why don't you start it? Well, she finally talked me into it. And you were one of the reasons why I started doing it. You kind of gave me a little insight. Well, if they can do it, I can do it. And I saw how you were making some administration people mad, and I'm pretty good at that too. So I fell right into that niche.
No, they loved it, man. They loved my podcast. They loved it. They kept on asking when the next episode was coming out. They asked for stickers. They were just so supportive, man.
I think they wore the T-shirts underneath their uniforms, actually.
I think they did, man. And what was interesting is we used to always say, don't be a Steve. And there were like two Steves that were commanders. And they would constantly, I never told Mark
don't
this.
Be a shitbag, Steve.
Don't be a shitbag, Steve. And they would turn around and they would go, you're not talking about me, right? And I'd be like, no, why the fuck why would you say that? Like, you're one of the coolest commanders.
I'll tell my wife, actually, because you said that. I'd call my wife. She'd say something. I'm like, don't be a Steve.
I would do that too with my wife, and she would be like, stop being so stupid. Like, don't transfer your podcast into the real world.
Yeah.
I mean, podcasting is definitely evolved over the last like 4 or 5 years. I like to see where it's at. I like to see good shows like yourself popping up and really staying true to what law enforcement really is, because it is the greatest job in the world. Even with the bad experiences Mark and I have had, it'll always be the best job in the world. I had never ever feared the shitbags on the street. There was a mutual kind of respect. You had people that fought you. You had people when you did traffic stops or subject stops, they were just assholes to you. That I can deal with because I drive away, and that's where I would leave it. It was always at the beginning of the shift or at the end of the shift. That was the biggest part and biggest struggle of this profession, because if you work for a good agency where they leave you alone and let you do your job, you're going to have the best experience. If you don't, and you deal with people that are really not leaders at all, they've tested really good for that day, and they're politically correct. I think that's the big one now, is being politically correct and not causing any waves. you're going to have a rough time in law enforcement, especially now with the next generation of officers that are coming in. I'm concerned, to say the least. When you look at like NYPD, they're bragging that for the first time in 15 years, they've got 35,000 officers.
For now.
Here's my question: of those 35,000,
I was thinking you said it, Iceman.
Yeah. What was the hiring practice to get them on? Because I guarantee you, it's not the same when I applied for the NYPD.
That's everywhere.
It is literally everywhere.
Standards are low.
Standards are very. I mean, I'm not fucking Mike. Jesus, Mark got me into fucking TikTok, like, and I can't watch TikTok for more than like 1 or 2 minutes because I get completely triggered by the amount of fucking stupidity of cops that are on these things that are like
TikTok cops.
Like I know I was fucked up for doing a podcast while I was a cop.
Well,
but I wasn't out there.
Look at me. I could retire now, so I'm a whole lot safer. All I got to do is say, hey, I'm out, because I got 30 years.
It's a good place to be.
Trying to, get my little bit. But my department knows I do it. But it's like, oh yeah, the TikTok cops, I'm like, I don't know. They make me madder than hell too. Yeah, because there's no standard. There's no weight standard. There's no, and by no means was I a fucking 8% body fat cop out there, but I certainly wasn't to the point where
you weren't.
No. Don't be fooled by this Tom Cruise physique that I have.
I have no neck. Look, I don't have a neck. I'm not. Everybody's like, oh, you don't look you weigh that much. Well, I was a gym rat back in the day, but I've never had a neck. I've been like, I was the guy that come out from playing football. Actually, I was a cheerleader in school. That's a different story. But I'm a bigger. I'm a heavy. I'm not heavy, but I'm a bigger frame guy. So.
Well, I will tell you this, like, at least when I was a cop and I wore an outer carrier vest, that would keep me humble with my weight. Like, once I would put it on in the locker room and I could feel it was snug, I'd go, okay, we're going to skip Chipotle for a couple of weeks. But when you leave, you're off the fucking guardrails. You're just like, oh, the Cinnabon is here at Universal Studios. Why have one when you can have four?
I've always called them crime fighting super biscuits. Not a donut. Not a donut, to crime fighting super biscuits.
Yeah.
All right. I want to jump down a rabbit hole here real quick. So you go buy the Cinnabon, right? Take it home, slice it in half, and then make French toast out of it. You'll thank me later.
I can't do it anymore, man. Like, I'm in my skinny days right now.
You're on the fat shot, right?
I am, man. That's
me too.
Are you
down 40 pounds?
Yeah, 50 for me, man.
I'm the only one of the three of us that aren't fat shotting.
This show's going to take a dangerous turn, but I will tell you. I
went from a lean back in my 30s to I was like a in shape 240-pound guy. As I got older, and then I went to a department that didn't have physical fitness standards. Not complaining. Same. And then I went from like 260, 250 to like 324, and I was like, I can't breathe. I was like, I can't breathe doing my. Now I'm like down to like about 280, I think 275 is where I weighed at.
Good for you, Ice. So keep up the good work,
I can see my feet again.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're explicit. You can say penis.
Yeah. I can see my. I was like, look, it's still there. What's up, little buddy? I didn't have to ask my wife. Is it still there? She said, I think it's a turtle.
But he's scared.
Yeah, he's in the shell.
I'm right there with you, man. Like, I'm about to break the 200 mark, like below the 200 mark for the first time.
I'd have to go back to high school for that.
Yeah. But it's a change. It's a change, man. It is not an easy thing. Like I remember before I started taking the fat shot, everybody was like, "Oh, that's the easy way out." I will tell you, and Iceman, you could speak to this. You could speak to this. there isn't a time when I'm not nauseous for 3 days out of the week, and that's pretty much why you lose weight. Like you're just not hungry.
I tried for a year. I was had meal prep. I was buying. I'd go to this place that did the meal prep. I wasn't cheating. I was doing everything I was supposed to do for a year, and I lost 6 pounds in 1 year. And I was like, I'm also getting ready to be 55 in a couple months. So ever since I hit around mid 45ish and stuff like that, I can tell it's like, well, for one thing, if you hear me moaning coming from my bedroom in the morning, that's just me getting out the bed.
I'm there, man.
I've been run over. I've been run over 3 times on duty. I'm a motorcycle cop. I'm still a motorcycle cop over 20 years. I've been down 3 times. I've been, in multiple, use of force incidents, and I've had stitches, broke fingers, cuts, dog bit, shot at, all this stuff over the years. Plus riding a motorcycle, being crashed, and also, my body has definitely paid the price, and it's not the same anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ask me if I would change it. No.
As you get older too, it's hard to lose. It's hard to lose that weight too. Like it's people don't. I didn't realize though. When I was younger, when I was in my 20s and 30s, I can drop 15 pounds in a month. Like
thinking about it, just thinking about it. I need to lose some weight.
Yeah,
lose 2 pounds.
Now it's like it's sad that you have to wait till your late 40s to 50s to really start thinking about your health. But it's a reality, and I would say anybody. I've talked to multiple friends and family that I'm like, I highly recommend you do it. There's a lot of side effects. Obviously, I'm not a doctor. I am a doctor. I'm just not licensed. So like, I would definitely do it. It's extremely expensive.
I have a PhD in assholeology.
Masters. I'm working on my PhD. I also have a PhD in getting fucked. So.
They named the shocker after you, or what?
No, he is. What? He's the minivan. Two in the front.
There are 2 adult toys named after what happened to me at APD. One is called the Subway. And the other one is called the Chief's Little Doll. And I'll let your imagination run wild with what that is. They're both selling really well and available
on Amazon.
Temu.com.
Temu.
You've been
comes with no lube.
No lube.
And parts. That's all of it, Ice.
Parts. Yeah, okay.
Go ahead. I was going to steer us out of this rabbit hole.
Yeah.
So let's get back to the theme of our show today, since we have a motor operator on the show.
This is actually, I think, the first or second time we've ever had a motor cop on. So, Mark, kick us off.
And what's the motto there, Ice? There's 2 kinds of cops in the world. There's motor cops.
Motor cops and those that wish they were motor cops.
There you go.
I did wish that was a motor cop.
That's a pretty fucking true statement. And I tried to implement that as the fleet manager at my former agency to get us a motor or 2. But that was heavily thumbs down. So kind of the theme of our show today is how to get yourself a ticket. And what I like to say is that if you get a warning from a motor officer, you better go play the fucking lottery, because
pretty much. Pretty much. If I let you go, well, I don't write. I mean, I'm in my twilight years now, but when my heydays, both departments I've worked for I was the highest ticket writer in the department. I had people trying to catch up with me. There was I was writing probably, hundreds if not thousands.
You're that fucking guy that I would get behind in court. Like, you're the guy after working all fucking night.
Yeah,
you're the guy I would get behind every fucking
day
time.
Shift motor officer is up in Muni Court ahead of you. I was like, motherfucker, can I get at him?
Yeah.
Well, and they always
I'm
come
on
in
duty anyway.
They come in with a folder this thick, and you know you're not getting any sleep that night. Like you turn around and you're like,
fuck, we're short shift tonight. I can't call off.
And every single one of them wants to fight the ticket. Everybody
yeah.
thinks that they could beat the motor officer. And you almost want to go up there and stand at the podium on the other side, defendant's podium, as they come up and go, "Don't do it. Don't do it."
In 30 years,
Just
30
ask
years.
for driving school. Just ask for driving school.
I've only lost 2 tickets in 30 years.
Yeah,
that's thousands of tickets in 2 years.
It doesn't surprise me. You guys, I mean, my daughter got a ticket from a motor officer for speeding, and she called me up and she's like, "You going to call him?" And I go, "Absolutely not. I'm not going to call him. You're going to go to court. You're going to plead guilty. You're going to ask for driving school, and then what you're going to do is you're going to apologize to him outside of the courtroom." And she just didn't understand what that meant. And I said, "Because you should know better. Like, you're a cop's kid, and you're going 22 miles over the speed limit in an area where they just had a fatality accident. Of course, that's the reason why he's
arrestable. Yes, enforcement's up.
Yeah, like,
that's arrestable here in Louisiana.
Yeah, in Virginia it was too. 20 over is reckless.
Yeah.
So he had mercy on her to not write her for reckless. He just wrote her for speed. And because she was like, my dad's a retired cop, and he was like, "Good, then go back and tell him that I wrote you a ticket." And she was like, he was rude. I go, "No, that's accurate, because I would have done the same thing." Like, when you're on a detail like that, there is no discretion. Like, you don't really have a lot of discretion. You're there to write tickets because it's politically driven too, which is your commander needs to go back to the chief goes back to the mayor or whoever the fuck is in charge of the city or county and goes, "Yeah, we had that fatality. We ran a detail. We wrote 154 tickets." And they all over the fucking screen. They're like, "Oh, 150 tickets."
What's funny is so many people. Let's just get this out of the way. Now, I've always worked for the sheriff's office. I don't know how city police work. Sheriff's office do not make money on traffic citation.
Really?
The majority of all that money goes to the district attorney's office, the judges, and believe it or not, the public defender's office. If I wrote a ticket that department I worked for before, a lowest speeding ticket, 11 over, would be $185. You know how much the sheriff's office got out of that ticket? $2 out of $185. You know what? It cost them more for me to write that ticket by paying my salary and equipment and everything else wise than they got from that ticket. So if people are like, "Oh, you're making your quota." First of all, I tell people when they say, "You're making your quota," no, they're nice. They let me write as many as I want to. And my thing is, I've tried to tell people when I write people tickets, I wasn't trying to be, well, sometimes I was, but most of the time I wasn't trying to be an ass or nothing. Is I'm trying to, just like if you got a bad kid, you punish them to change their behavior.
Yeah.
The next time you're in this area or on this stretch of road, you're going to be like, "Oh shit, I'm going to slow down. I got a ticket here last time. I don't want another one."
Yeah.
And my thing is, how do you know I didn't save your life or somebody else's life 2 miles up the road because I slowed you down or stopped you, and now you're safer for that? That's how I always looked at it. I didn't look at it as like, "Oh, I'm Mr. Mean Cop. I just want to write you a ticket and cost you money." I hopefully maybe saved your life down the road and you don't even realize it.
Right. That's how I felt about DUIs.
Ice, what was your threshold? 5 over, 10 over, 10 over,
10.
So 10 and up.
If it was a 50 miles an hour and you're doing 61, you got stopped. I gave everybody 10 because not everybody's speedometers are 100% in their car. But at 11 over, if your speedometer's 11 miles an hour off, that's your problem at that point.
Exactly. Nick, what was your threshold working traffic?
10 was over. When I was doing DUI enforcement, it wasn't so much speed as driving behavior. Like, because speed, like, I had a lot of DUI arrests. Like, I was a DUI guy, and the ones that I did lose, I was kind of like Iceman. I think I only lost 2 DUI cases, and those were over 0.20, where you're going to have mandatory jail time, and you hire, $15,000 attorney, and they're filing motion after motion after motion, and it's always the speed. It's always the speed that gets a jury confused, because a jury for DUI trial, they're looking at that speed. They're looking at your LiDAR unit. They're looking at the calibration. They're looking at your training, and then as soon as the defense brings in an expert to explain how LiDAR works, right out
Yep.
the fucking way. Like
I was,
the
a
jury
LiDAR,
is just
I was a LiDAR instructor, and I'm still a LiDAR instructor and radar instructor, and I'd get on a stand, you start trying to explain something to something, they just kind of looking at you like you're speaking, a foreign language, and
Yep.
it's like
we had a
first you
defense
say
attorney.
LiDAR, a lot of people they're like, what? Well, what's that? It's a laser. The laser. Oh, that thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
We had a
That thingy.
defense attorney that always, with a radar ticket, would always turn around and have a expert come on and say, if you point the radar at a tree, does it register the speed? And they go, yeah. And the jury just loses their fucking mind because they don't understand how radar works. So they're thinking to themselves, wait a minute, if you point it at a tree and it tells you it's 15 miles an hour, how is that accurate when you point it at a vehicle? And it's simple science, but they just don't they lose their fucking mind. So yeah.
I always like for some reason, I know y'all have had to experience this is on the ticket thing, is I don't know why people are speeding, criminals, however, when civilians look at us and say, I'm going to call my lawyer. Do they think this is like the Lion King and you're saying Mufasa and we're going to go, ooh, the lawyer scares me? It's not. I told people all the time.
That's like I have a criminal justice degree. Congratulations.
Yeah. Yeah, good for you. Let me know how that works out for you.
Yeah, you spent time in college to do the same exact job I was doing without my criminal justice degree. Of course, I went to college.
Exactly.
You know what I went to college to do? A mortician. I went to mortuary science school. Okay, I used to embalm people back in the day.
I'll be a good side gig.
It has nothing to do with law enforcement. And I was working out of New Orleans. That's a whole nother story. But then I tell people, I'm like, well, I'm going to take you to court. Well, please do. One thing, I work Monday through Friday, so I'm going to be on work anyway. But you're going to have, first of all, you're going to have to take a day off of work to come the first time to plead guilty or not guilty. I don't even have to be there. So that's one day off of work you're going to have to take. And that's going to take you most of the day sitting in court just to say that. Then you're going to have to come back a second day. And if you're stupid enough to actually hire yourself an attorney, that's going to cost you a minimum of $500 to fight a $150 ticket, you go right ahead. Then you actually think you won something because your attorney got your speeding ticket knocked down to a non-moving violation or something that costs the same amount as a speeding ticket. So you're still paying a citation fine, then $500 on top of it, 2 days off of work. And I didn't lose a dime. So go ahead. I win regardless. Even if you happen to beat me in court, you still have to take 2 days off of work, which costs
for the
you
same
money.
result. For the same result.
It's like I win.
I can tell you in some of these states, I know like in Ohio, that's actually a win for the violator because you're going to get extorted now that it's mandatory auto insurance in a lot of these states.
Yeah,
What they'll do is they'll do that look back at your driving record and they're like, oh, well, you got a moving violation. Yeah, get ready. What was that first one? The subway, Nick, that you got? Yeah, that's what your insurance company's going to be doing to your checkbook. Because you got that one moving violation. So, what I recommend to everybody do is go to court. It's going to take you some time, but learn the process.
Well, you might get lucky and a cop might not show up. I mean, the department I used to work for, if you worked at a department, you got a subpoena and you didn't show up for court, you get, and they'd suspend you. They consider that's part of your job is to show up for court. And what happened was people were not showing up for court. The judges got really mad, actually held one of the cops in contempt because he didn't show up. And so, no, you show up for court. So, but I'm a cop, but I'm just saying if wherever you're at, you might have departments show up for court. If the cop don't show up for court and they're supposed to be there for this trial, it's a good chance you can get your ticket thrown out. I mean, it's a 50-50 shot on that, depending on where you're at. In
my world, that's generally what they would do is if the officer wasn't there, then they would offer a really sweet plea. Like, here, we'll drop it, but you're still going to pay court costs. And it's like, well, I won. Well, yeah, you did. Actually, you're not getting the moving. But what always blew my mind was those of us that were midnight dogs, well, you got to be in court. Well, how are you going to facilitate me being there? Okay. So you want me to work my full shift. You're not going to let me out of here early so I can go home and, recover before I have to go up there and sit behind a motor officer.
List?
No,
we didn't.
It's your case. In my world, it's your case. You have to go. Now, in a lot of larger areas, I've heard that they'll have an officer, and that's his job, is to sit there at Muni Court and represent the department, no matter who the officer is, which that's smart.
Where I work at, if you have court and you've like a night shift and it's not a felony or some misdemeanor, they'll have your phone number, and they'll like, okay, they'll come in before and they'll say, okay, well, this person's not going to plea or nothing or something. They'll call you and say, hey, go ahead and be up here for 2:00. We're going to go ahead and do the trial at 2:00. So they would do that. So you don't have to, because sometimes people don't show up, or sometimes they come in there and want to plea instead of the cop that worked all night. They just call and tell you that, hey, we're going to need you at such and such a time. So they do that.
That's good. My municipal court in my world, no. This is when court is. You be damned. Be here.
Yeah, that's how mine was too.
Yeah, it's like fuck the midnight dogs. So that's which the beauty of it is, if you do good solid work. I didn't go to court a lot because the agreement I had with my prosecutor was, I don't give a fuck what you do with it. My job, put it in a fishing acronym. I catch them, you skin them.
Yeah.
And if only if there's always that asshole, to use ISIS term, that gets under your skins, like, and I'll tell him, please go to court. I really want you to go to court. And I'll call the prosecutor and say, hey man, this guy's a fucking dick with ears. So when this comes up, I'll be there.
The 1-inch roll down. Yeah, or the 1-inch roll down. Yeah. I'm a traveler.
Sovereign. Oh yeah.
You should love going to court with those.
Yeah.
The one looked at the judge and said, Your Honor, he told me if I didn't hand him a proper state identification and kept handing him my papers, that he was going to pull me out the car by my head. And the judge looked at him and said, well, did he? Well, no, I gave it to him. And the judge was like, okay, then what's the issue? I wasn't lying. I was giving him a warning. Look, you're about to exit the vehicle via the window by your head, which I thought was funny. He was a sovereign citizen. I'm just trying. But when he opened his wallet up, he had a food stamp card in it. I'm like, thought you were sovereign there.
Sovereign there, aren't you, buddy? Yeah. So have you gone hands-on with any sovereigns? Did you have to remove them through the vent window?
A couple of them, yeah. Just I'm not getting out.
You are.
Well, talking about what we talked about, I'm old school. I call myself a dinosaur cop because I went through police academy like in the early 90s and stuff like that, and we were trained different. We did stuff. We were hands-on police officers. We didn't have tasers. Tell you the truth about it, I'm taser certified and don't carry one. I still carry my spray because my spray works 99% of the time, and the taser only works 20% of the time. And I notice a lot of these young cops now, they're so reliant on the damn taser.
They're so fun to use, though.
It's so reliant. Oh, well, I've been there and seen people. Like I was chasing this guy. Oh, he was on foot. I guess he didn't think that I was able, because I was driving my motorcycle through yards and stuff. He turned around and should have seen the look on his face when he seen a motorcycle on his ass. And as I was chasing him, he jumped over a fence, which I had to go around, of course. But as I come around, he was coming around the other side, and they had a hole in the wooden fence. And the other deputy was on the other side and stuck his taser through the hole and tased him, and he was running by, and it was quite funny.
Yeah,
just face planted.
Can you get the full lock?
Yeah, I had 4 of them, and every quail. Yeah, I had 4 of them, and all 4 of them were hilarious. Got in trouble for keeping the blast doors and taping them above my desk. Got in trouble for that. My sergeant walked by and was like, "What are the blast doors doing?" And I was like, "Oh, this is each one of my tasings." And he was like, "Take that."
Now they got those taser 10s out.
Oh, do they?
They have 10 shots.
Oh shit!
Oh yeah. So if you shoot them and one don't take, if they don't take, you can hit them. You got 10 shots in one taser, and it's like a 30 or 35 foot range on them.
Time has changed.
Oh yeah,
I remember getting into a tussle and having to rip off the cartridge and slap on another cartridge to engage.
They got 10 shots on them now.
Well, soon you won't even need to do that.
Semi-auto tasers.
Yeah, soon you won't even need to do that.
Well, Ice and Nick, you guys were talking about, being old school. And I had an old school sergeant tell me when those things first come out, he's like, look, man, nothing beats a good open hand slap to the side of the head. And he said, those tasers are great. but wait till they look away. You'll get their fucking attention immediately by going hands on with them. But
a good Gerber slap works real well too.
Oh, a what?
Gerber slap right in the back of the.
Yeah.
Oh,
there it is.
Okay.
That
always scrambles the onboard computer for a moment.
That's actually a technical term on it. If you go in, it's the Gerber slap.
Yeah.
Well,
it took me a minute to remember it.
Well, I will say, that's my concern with the new generation, which is that they don't go hands on. They don't know how to go hands on. I never want to see this happen. I don't want to see cops get hurt or worse.
Right.
But I think we're going to be seeing an influx of a lot of injured and
well, we already are. If you look at the amount of cops getting hurt on duty, and 1 week of defensive tactics and police academies and they got a lot of these guys that come out thinking they're professional fighters. They convince them of that, and it's like, I'm far from it. I'm a street fighter as a kid. The difference is when I went through school, we could get in fist fights. They have zero tolerance in schools now. So you got a lot of these guys coming out of police academy or whatever. They've never been females. Also, they've never been punched in the face before.
Yeah.
What's Mike Tyson always say?
Yeah.
Everyone's got a plan to take a punch in the face.
Yeah. But if you got somebody that's never been in a true fist fight, never been punched, never been, somebody, and now you're out patrolling the streets, and it's like, I don't want to be next to you when it's the first time you get punched in the face and you done freaked out or something like that.
Well, and the other thing is like knowing when you do take a punch that you got to keep on fighting. Like that I don't think is something that this generation understands. When they take a punch, they hit the ground.
It ain't over.
Curl up. Yeah.
No,
you still got a bunch of work to do, boys.
When I went to police academy, the instructor, I had a female instructor actually. She always said, she's like, the problem is when you're growing up playing cops and robbers and cowboys and Indians, however you want to say it, they were like, oh, bang, bang, you're dead. No, that's not the mentality you have to have. It's like, bang, bang, oh, you just pissed me the hell off. Okay.
You thought those 2 shots were going to stop me?
Yeah, you just pissed me the hell off now. You can't, because, they've actually had documented incidents where they've had cops that have getting shot with survivable gunshot wounds that have just laid there and died and bled out instead of getting up and staying in a fight, and they probably would have survived but they just gave up.
It's all mindset. Did you guys see the video? And I wish I had done a little more research on or putting in my memory. There was a guy that was engaging a female out of supposedly a break-in. And he looked like a pretty husky dude, and this broad looks like she's probably 120 pounds. And he ends up engaging with her. He tries to tase her, and the taser was ineffective because she was able to defeat it, right? And somehow she got his asp off of him, and he ends up killing her. Jeez. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, dude. Fucking go hands on, grab it, take an arm bar, sweep the legs, put her on the ground, just fucking lay on her if she's that wiry till your backup gets there. And I was watching that, and I'm just like, this is basic fighting, basic ground rules. And how the hell, number one, you lost your weapon? And I know it's armchair quarterbacking, but where I'm going with this is that if we don't have a basic knowledge of how to be in a fucking street fight, now I'm the youngest of 3 boys, so I got my ass kicked all the time. And, there's like 5 years between me and my next brother up. So, if you get in a fight, you need to be able to know how to survive the fight and how to disarm your enemy. And the one thing that I think we're doing the hugest disservice to our officers today is my favorite impact weapon. Nick, do you remember?
Your mouth.
Granted, it does have an impact, but I love the PR-24. I think that was one of the best batons out there. Yeah. Oh, yeah. After the Rodney King incident in L.A. But there's a lot of agencies that still have. Of course, me being the old school sergeant, I kept mine. and found a way to certify with it because, can't be Harris. You can't carry something you can't train with. But they always got pissed off because, here, take the asp. And I'm like, the only thing I ever did with that fucking asp is prop open doors. I mean,
or break a window.
Never
exactly.
Never carried one.
Yeah,
I used it. I was like, what am I going to do with this little bitty thing right here? I did carry one of them big 8D cell mag lights.
Oh, that was
yes.
That's what I
still there too, man.
I still actually. Everybody's like, some of these new ones like, what's that on your DD ring? I'm like, they're talking about my D ring on it. It's like, that's my flashlight holder. I'm thinking, well, they say, I'm like, I've had it on my duty belt for 30 years. I'm not taking it off.
Me too.
That's what my
guys were like, why don't you use a streamlight? And I'm like, get in a fucking bar fight with the streamlight. Tell me how that works out for you. Weapon of opportunity.
Yeah, I can reach out and touch you.
Oh, you goddamn right. And you can do everything. And if you're good with it, you can get a little sternum rub with the mag light. Yeah, and always a great weapon of opportunity.
Those mag lights are good for measuring things too.
I'm not taking the bait on that.
No, not doing it.
All right, we'll move on.
That's a rabbit hole we'll never recover from. How are we doing on time there, sir?
We are right at time there, Mark. We are right at time. It is a pleasure.
This has been a lot of fun, actually.
Let's make sure that we tune into part 2 with Iceman. And make sure that when you're watching this on YouTube that you are liking and subscribing. It's really important to the YouTube gods that erase our views and our listening or viewing hours.
They don't like me either. So.
Yeah. Do you have that, Ice? Do your views go up and then suddenly you look at it and they've dropped by 10,000?
By 11,000.
Yeah.
Well, I've never got that many, but it's like I know I'm not hitting the right algorithm.
No,
we'll get you there.
We'll get you there, buddy. Don't worry.
Ask Marlon Mariachi about how that worked out coming on the roll call.
Yeah, that is true. He was like, 30,000. What the fuck is going on?
I'd love that.
Yeah.
So if you're feeling a little furry, Iceman, manscaped.com, promo code roll call room gets you 20% off.
Yeah, and also I want to say, don't forget to check out Jerseys for Sale, the number 4 sale.com. Get these cool jerseys from one of our sponsors. Really cool folks out there.
They are great.
Business.
They're very
great people. But Mark, I'm going to turn it over to you to wrap it up, and then we'll start this clown show all over again.
I tell you, this has been a lot of fun. So Iceman and I kind of connected over social media, and it was just an absolute pleasure trying to get this put together. And the time we're recording this is over the holidays between the break. So it's just been an absolute pleasure to have you on. I really enjoyed your vibe. I enjoy your podcast, which is the Motor Cop Chronicles podcast. Check him out. You're on all major platforms there, sir?
Yes, I'm audio. We're live every Wednesday night at 7.
Even Spotify?
Live. I do a live. We talk about news, criminals and cops in the news. And if you're looking for not PC, and I'm surprised I haven't get kicked off of YouTube yet, check it out.
We're right behind you, buddy.
I'm on Rumble too.
Yes. So guys, take care of yourself out there. Coming from 3 cops that grew up through the 90s in law enforcement, it is a different world. So take care of one another.
All right, folks. We'll see you on the next one.